Hi, this is Steffi from Steffi's Beads and Baubles, and in this video I'm going to show you how I make this little egg ornament. I'll show you the materials I use and each step in creating it. I do make a mistake at the end, which is a teaching moment, so you'll get a kick out of that, because I like to leave them in so you can have a laugh at my expense but also learn. So we'll learn how to do the edging, we'll learn how I did the loop, we'll learn how I did the front. But anyway, so I'll be right back to show you how to do this cute little ornament. Okay, the first step is I'm going to show you how to put the sequins on the felt. And the way I do this is I take my cookie cutter and I stamp it onto the felt with an ink stamp pad. And it's just a simple egg shape, and you can actually draw it on or draw it on cardboard and trace it. If you don't have an ink stamp pad, you can actually trace around your cookie cutters. That's what I used to do before I discovered I could stamp them. And you're going to cut out two. I'm only counting out one because I have my finished egg, but I had a file that did not show up on my computer, so I have to re-record this. So I'm just going to show you again how to do it. And basically I'm going to show you with the big flowers, because it's the same step no matter what I do, but I'm going to show you how I did the flowers here on the top. And so I'm going to go in, and felt is a very thin, porous, last time I got a better shot of it, but when you hold a piece of felt up to the light, you can see, well, it's not doing it this time, but you can see that it's not even. There are thinner parts and thicker parts. So I always pull the thread through, let the knot stop. Then I go leave a definite little piece of string across the top, go back through, and see that kind of anchors it, and then I come back up kind of in the middle of there, and that holds the thread on securely. Then when I put the flowers on, I like them to have the bump side up because it's a pressed piece, so the back is hollow. So I want that to show on the piece. So you're going to put it on upside down, and you're going to grab your seed bead. Now I did the same color seed bead as I did the flower. So then I'm going to put my seed bead on with it, and I'm going to pull it down onto the piece. And then I'm only going to go back through the actual sequin, and I'll show you why. So then you pull it, and see that little seed bead? It's going to anchor it down. See? Now I'm going to put on the next one, which will be a white one. And let me get the one out of the bag. And the flowers I'm using are white opal. They're 15mm opalescent flower that I got at Cartwright's. And I'm using a blue turquoise, but I don't know if this is a retired color, but they have other blues that are similar. And when you go to Cartwright's page, they have a flower page. And you can look on that flower page and you can find these large flowers, and they're about $2 a bag, and you get 130 flowers. So now I'm going to put the white flower on, and I'm going to do the same thing. I put it face down on the tray. Okay, so it's I can't really see the tray, but I'll show you on my hand. It's face down on my hand, see? Then I'm going to pick it up like this, flip it over. Okay, and then I'm going to pick up one seed bead, and then I'm going to pull it down just like I did the blue one. And what I want to do is tuck it under the first flower, like that, so they overlap. And then I'm going to go back through the flower again and pull it. Oh, see, I got it caught. That happens a lot when you're doing sequin and bead work. So I'm just going to do that until I fill it in the way I want it to look. And I wanted it a little lopsided. I wanted to have it up higher here and down here, and then kind of the opposite here, but not perfectly matched. You just want to make it look a little bit organic and just kind of interesting. And so you just kind of weave them together, tucking them under as you go, and then that will fill in all the flowers. Then I tie it off. I went down here and I did the same thing here. I started here and came down and then added these. And when that's done, we'll go on. I'll show you when this is done and just the flowers are done. Okay, here's what I've done so far, and I definitely let them go over the top, but I don't care. It's going to have an edge on it. It'll just kind of look kind of fun and you know, just, I don't know, I just like the look of the flowers going over the back, and that's how the back looks. Now what I'm going to do is start on the front, and I'm going to do, let me tilt the, I'm going to use these blue here, which are out of this bag from Hobby Lobby. And then I've got some vintage white, but you can buy this same color at Hobby Lobby. I'm not using the ones from Hobby Lobby, but you can buy them at Hobby Lobby. This has like a pinkish iridescent look, but that's okay. I kind of want a pure white, and I'm not sure if I'm going to use these or not. I'm definitely going to use the blue, and I think actually I'm not going to use these. I'm going to use the blue and then some scattered white and blue flowers throughout this area. So it'll be mainly the blue with a few scattered white and blue flowers through it, and I'm going to show you again how I start it. Just like the last time. Then I come back up, and I'm going to tuck the sequins up underneath there. I'll show you one or two, and then I'm going to go back and do some, finish it up and come back and show you. So again, sequin cup up with seed bead, you put it down and go back through just the sequin, tucking it up under the flower. I'm going to tuck it after I do it. And then I will just fill it in and just randomly put some of these flowers in, and I'll be back to show you when I'm done. Okay, here's the finished piece, and you can see it definitely goes over the edge, but I like that effect. And I filled it in with the blue sequins and some of the flowered the little flowered sequins. Then I take the back and I take a little of this cotton. This is just the, excuse me, that's a loose thread. That's just the cotton you get in a vitamin bottle. Sometimes medicine bottles, but we don't take any medicines, but we buy a lot of supplements, and I have jars of this stuff, and it shreds really nice, but you can use the stuff out of the bags of cotton you buy for the bathroom too. And then you put them together, and then you're going to start, on this one it really doesn't matter, it's just one straight line. You're going to go in the middle between the two pieces and come in through between the sequins. And so that knot's going to be like sandwiched inside. Just kind of tuck the tail in there. If it won't tuck in, then just nip it a little closer. This one doesn't want to tuck in. There. So it's inside the two pieces of felt. Then I'm going to come from the back and come right back through the same spot. And you can see the loop will pull the two pieces together. Now I'm going to pick up 3 seed beads. And I got 3 seed beads on my needle, and I'm going to go right through really close to where I came through, like right next to where, you don't want to be right on top, but right next to where that thread is. Making sure you come up underneath or between the sequins. You do not want to come up between them. Then once you have the 3 on there, kind of pull them a little bit. Come through the last one going the direction, or the first one I guess, going the direction you want to go. And you pull it. You're going to have to pull on it to help adjust it. And then you'll have, your first one is going to be kind of off because it has no structure. But as you go around, I'll show you. Now after the first one, you only need 2 more seed beads. And you're going to go through right next to where you came through the last time. Just tuck up underneath the sequins like that. And you're going to come back up through that one facing the direction you're going. And sometimes you have to help the first couple to look like it, but see, it's starting to make the triangles now. I hope you can see that. I'm going to do a couple more, and then I'm going to cut away, finish this, and then I'll come back and show you how to do the loop. So you're just going to add 2 more seed beads, come back through right there, right next to where the last one was. And I just push up under the sequin. If you find your needle goes through a sequin, pull it right back out, because if you go through a sequin, you're going to leave a thread over the top, and it just won't look good. And you're just going to come back through the bead facing, the bead on the end. So I'm trying to get that. There, it just doesn't want to tuck. Sometimes you have to get your finger in there. Okay, this happens a lot. You just got to get your finger to support it while you get the needle in that last one. Okay, and remember, always the one facing the direction you're going, because you're making the foundation for the next 2 seed beads. Because see, the next 2 will go on top of here and down here. So I'll do one more, and then I'm going to break away, finish this all the way around, and then we'll do the loop. So again, just let it do its thing, and it'll kind of naturally go into place. And as you get a few on there, it gets easier to capture that one on the end. There you go. See? And so after you get 3 or 4 in, it'll start looking really nice. Then when you get to the end, you're just going to put on, when you get up to the end, you're just going to do one last bead next to it and one last bead on top, and then come back through the very first bead you put on, and you're going to stitch it up. If I remember when I'm stopping, I'll finish up to that last stitch, and I'll show you how to tie it off, and then we'll do the loop. Okay, so I'll be back when I'm down to the last stitch. Alright, I'm going to show you the last stitch, and then we're going to do the loop. So let me show you. You pick up your last 2 beads, and it might be the last 2 stitches. If you notice, I'm real close, and I'm going to go in to that and that, and then it's going to be the second to the last stitch, because then I come up through the last bead like, oh no. Okay, I'll be right back. I gotta thread my needle. Alright, sorry about that. I thought I left enough thread, and we're barely going to have enough. But anyway, so we're going to go back up like usual through that bead right here. And then if you look, whoops, I gotta go up through the fabric, up through the fabric and up through that last bead. And if you notice, it's going to put 2 beads side by side right there. So all I'm going to do is add 1 bead to do the final stitch, and then I'm coming out of this bead. I'm going to go back through the very first bead I put on there and pull it through, and that'll make the last stitch. And then all I'm going to do is what I did over here when I ran out of thread, is I go around a few times this direction, being careful to not let the thread come off the needle. If I go through 2 or 3 times this way, then I'll come the other direction, and I'll come down a couple times. So I kind of cross through that like that. Keep an eye on that thread, because this happens a lot. Then I'll go 1, 2 times more. Oh, I guess it's going to be 1. Then we're done. That way you're sure to get it all tied off. Leaves a little tiny spot, which is fine especially if you use the same color thread. So I'll be right back and we'll do the loop. Alright, to do the loop, I kind of find where the center of this one's going to be easy because it's an oval. So I'm just going to go up through, and what I do is, you can go up from behind the sequins, but I'm not going to do that because that's something you do when you got some experience. I'm just going to come up from here. The knot will show, but that's okay. Come up through this bead like that. And then I'm going to thread on 6 inches of beads. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I won't do all 6 inches, I'll just kind of show you. Okay, so I'm going to do 6 inches of beads. So when this thread has 6 inches of beads on it, then I'll loop back around and I'll show you how to finish it off. Okay, now I say 6 inches because I like a 3-inch loop, but you don't have to do that long. You can do longer or shorter. But the point is, you're going to put on enough beads that you like the size of the loop. And I usually do right about 6. So what I'm going to do is, I came up through this bead here. I'm going to skip the one in between, and I'm going to go down between this, through the one next to it. And Then you can hold the thread and make sure it hangs right while you're still holding on to this, and it does. It hangs good. And then you're simply going to do that tie off again. You're just going to go in a couple circles. And I do use a double thread for the loops, mainly because if they get tugged or pulled, it gives them a little bit more strength. You don't have to, because beading thread's pretty thick. But if you do a double strand of beading thread, it really... And then I go the other direction, up through across. And it makes quite a little knot, but it's the back. That's why normally I use a color that matches, but you know, I'm just trying to do what the average person can get a hold of. And then there's our finished piece. Here's from the back with the edging. Uh-oh, okay, there's a mistake I just made. Look at, I didn't pull it tight. Might as well show you that mistake. So I'll have to redo it, but I won't redo it on camera. This is what happens if you don't pull it tight. I thought I did, but it caught. And sometimes they'll catch and you think you're done. But when it catches like that, you got to make sure it pulls all the way. Because now I got to cut this off and redo it. I won't make you watch that. Just learn from my mistake. This happens once in a while. And that was just me not pulling extra hard and making sure that I got it tight. So I thought I did, but I didn't. But anyway, it doesn't take away from showing you the finished piece. Really turned out cute. I'm really happy with it. I just wanted to do something a little different, and I thought the blue and white would be pretty. But you can do stripes, you can do alternate flowers and stripes. You can do all kinds of, if you don't have the flowers, you can just do all sequins or anything. And I will do more variations of this next year. This year I just kind of got away from me. I am going to have a bunny on Saturday for you as a bonus video this week. So anyway, I hope you like it. And if you do, I hope you'll hit the thumbs up. But I like leaving these kind of things in because I could have cut this piece of video out and redid it and made it perfect. But this is stuff that happens. And I like to show you guys what can happen, because for me it's no big deal, but if you're making a gift or you're making something and you're tired and you are not going to want to redo it, which who does, just learn from that. Just make sure when you pull it through the second bead, you pull it tight, double check it, and make sure that there's no gaps, and then you won't have that happen. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.